Every good nation together. I said, come, every good nation together. Every good nation together. Come, I say, come, let we build a nation together. I want to welcome you to this segment in the program where I will speak, laying a solid foundation for meaningful engagement. And I want to start off by encouraging those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. And I want to start by saying I had the opportunity to listen the NNP on their platform. And I can tell you, they're bitter, they're sour, and they're living in the past. They're also confusing the NDC of 2008 to 2013 to the NDC of now. I want to say further, the level of hate and jealousy on the part of the NNP is too much. It's at breaking point. So Keith Mitchell, I don't know if he's the leader or if he's not. I don't know. But he had this to say. And I had to laugh for a moment.
Yes. But NNP, as Sister Amanda and others said to you, took initiative to bring permanent jobs and created a number of programs for young people coming out of school. Many of the young people came into the Mani program and with Youth Vibes and all the other programs. They were gainfully involved in training and opportunities, and they got a serious stipend. They could continue to move forward. Sisters and brothers, we did that. But at the same time, we still recognize that a lot of our people were still unemployed. So we had the bushing program, sisters and brothers. And every time there was a serious holiday, sometimes 4 fortnights, 5 fortnights, over 6,000 people, 6,000 people, the money and the bread spreading around in the country. And that's a fact. We didn't take it and have a big summit of leaders around the world, Africa and all over the world, and spend millions of dollars on hotel and so on to have our big ego or pride to show I'm the big boss. I'm baby Jesus. I could bring all these important men here. While your people are suffering and they can't have a bread, sisters and brothers. The NNP priority was different, sisters and brothers. The NNP priority was different, sisters and brothers. And what is worse, the few little contracts they give, and they're choosing people. If you didn't vote for them, you can't get a contract. Man, let me tell you something. Under the NNP government, no minister or supporter could come to me and say, don't give that person a work because they are not NNP. Because I said, when you are elected into government, you know the prime minister and the minister of NNP, NDC, and all other P in Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. So don't come and tell me this nonsense.
Right. So let me go back a bit because you listen to Keith Mitchell saying a lot of things there, right? This guy is nasty, in my belief. So he started off by saying they created permanent jobs.
Yes. But NNP, as Sister Amanda and others said to you, took initiative to bring permanent jobs.
Right. So he said they took initiative to bring permanent jobs as the NNP. But the NDC came into power and had to make those public officers who were on contract, who were acting, make them permanent. So the NDC had to make these people permanent. So that's one. So he said they took initiative to bring permanent jobs. And you ask him where? Because these workers in the public service in particular, they were always acting or temporary. Then he said,
and created a number of programs for young people coming out of school. Many of the young people came into the Imani program and with youth vibes and all the
right. So he said they created a number of programs, right, for the young people coming out of school. The Imani program and Youth Biz or Youth Vibes, whatever the name is. All these programs still exist. The Imani training program is better than before because they're getting a higher stipend. They're getting more money. Instead of $700 a month, they're getting $1,200 a month. But that program is still there, where young people are going into the program and being channeled into the area that they're interested in. So they kind of revamp it to say that you come into the program, but you're going to go in the area that you want, that you have a passion for. We're not going to just put you anywhere. And you're going to get an opportunity to train, to enhance yourself, because you know the Imani training program was more or less handed over to the National Training Agency, right? And I think I have that somewhere here, where they can enhance themselves, where they can get more training and more opportunity. All right, so I think I have it somewhere here. Let me just, because he's talking about the Imani training program. It's important to expose this pathological liar, right? So the Imani training program, let me get it here. Okay, nice.
It will definitely be a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth and the Grenada National Training Agency as the transformational efforts target youth development via the Imani program. Minister with responsibility for youth, sports and culture,
Right. So
Ron Redhead, says what they want to address is the issue of training and employment.
So there is currently access to a study done by the ILO which suggested that Grenada has an issue with its education system and its ability to put that in line with employability. Therefore, with that mismatch, there is a need to correct that. The National Training Agency has the capacity and has the mandate to lead the development of training for young people. So the idea is to say that we must give it to the people with the capacity to get training done.
Redhead says reimagining training goals and how training is done while moving away from routine careers with a focus on entrepreneurship is their current target.
We can't, for example, continue the training of nail technicians and barbers and so on. That's not development. Where we need to go, the question of robotics, coding, for example, just to give a few, you have the whole issue of apiculture or apiculture, beekeeping, and to utilize training and development primarily to focus on entrepreneurship so that when it comes to job creation, we are not talking about government providing jobs for people, but people themselves being trained, well equipped to be able to form corporations, form businesses of their own, and then in turn provide employment for others.
The Youth Minister notes that addressing the training deficit while moving away from providing free labor are some of the immediate changes expected.
You know, Gerard, we have to be honest because the state is currently providing free labor for some business places. That is unsustainable. And we have to look at the best model as to what our young people can be best placed into to be productive citizens. So it's a combination, certainly, of looking at the mistakes of the past and adding or including some of the enhancements for the future.
The minister had this response when quizzed on the transition process and what will happen to the Imani trainees.
We're still working that out. Certainly, there will be a phased approach. There is a model currently that we have discussed, but we're still working that out to see how that transition will roll out. We are not going to leave any trainee hanging in the wind. There are trainees who are over 40 and in the program. They have been there since 2013. And we must address that particular situation and address it not fast, but with some alacrity, but of course with strategic goals in mind, and ensuring that the question of unemployment is not further exacerbated as a result of the cleansing of that Imani list.
Scholarship opportunities were also part of the Imani program, and Minister Redhead says they are seeking to institutionalize the process completely within the education.
Right. So that program continues, right? There were a number of young people in that program who've been there for 10 years. The program was meant for 18 months or 2 years. They kept them in that program for 10 years, their most productive period in their life, when they're supposed to, get something decent to do and earn something decent. So the NDC came into power and they increased the stipend that they were receiving, the Imani trainees. Also, the Empower program that continues. But the trainees, they're receiving more. They're receiving more money, more stipend, from $700 to $1,000. The grant that they were getting for $2,400, they're now getting $3,000 when they complete the program. The Elevate Her program, you have about 200 young women who are part of that program. So that continues, getting a stipend, receiving training and opportunities. The Youth in Agriculture, it's about 100 young people training in that field, getting a stipend and continuing on that vein. Women in Agriculture, about 100 young women are part of that program. So quite a bit is happening for the young people. But Keith Mitchell, typical Keith Mitchell, will go on a platform and talk all the nonsense with the hope that he's going to fool his supporters.
Yes. But NNPA, as Sister Amanda and others said to you, took initiative to bring permanent jobs and created a number of programs for young people coming out of school. Many of the young people came into the Imani program and with Youth Vibes and all the other programs. They were gainfully involved in training and opportunities, and they got a serious stipend. They could continue to move forward. Sisters and brothers, we did that. But at the same time, we still recognize that a lot of our people were still unemployed. So we had the bushing program, sisters and brothers,
Right. So the debushing program continues. That hasn't changed. In fact, there are more contracts, more fortnights given out under the NDC than under the NNP. So more people are getting a fortnight on the road to the bush under NDC, the National Democratic Congress administration, than under the NNP. But in 2025, that is what Keith Mitchell could go on a platform and talk about, the debushing program. That, nothing innovative, nothing creative, same old politics. The Imani training program. There are so many other programs that the NDC rolled out, and those beneficiaries, the young people, they're getting more stipend and all these different things. But in 2025, that is what Keith Mitchell is talking about on a platform. But he's jealous. He's a jealous guy.
And every time there was a serious holiday, sometimes 4 fortnights, 5 fortnights, over 6,000 people, 6,000 people, the money and the bread spreading around in the...
But folks, that never stopped. You have about 7,000 people or so who are getting a fortnight, who are getting an opportunity to be a part of the debushing program. So even more people are getting that opportunity under the NDC. So I don't understand what Keith Mitchell is really saying. But that's what he does. He goes on a platform, talk all this rubbish, and that is all this guy good for. He will speak about the Imani training program and the debushing program. There are so many other opportunities available for our people. But that's how he thinks. He wants to keep the Grenadian people poor and vulnerable.
country. And that's a fact. We didn't take it and have a big summit of leaders around the world, Africa and all over the world, and spend millions of dollars on hotel and so on to have our big ego or pride to show I'm the big boss.
This guy is one nasty, dirty individual. It's not even funny, you know. This guy ain't good, you know. Politically, this guy is a piece of trash, a piece of dirt, and no good. You listen to this guy rhetoric, and you wonder if he has Grenada at heart. But he's jealous. We were able to host the Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Summit. Successfully so. It was very successful. Out of that, we had two very important announcements, and we're going to get to that momentarily. But this guy is jealous. Look at this. Look at this guy. So he's speaking to some of his NNP supporters. Many of them cannot read, write, and reason. Many of them, they are poor and they are vulnerable. And he's exploiting and taking advantage of that. The mere fact that they are poor, they cannot read, write, and reason. Look at this political lunatic on that stage in Vendome. I mean, it's sad.
Every time there was a serious holiday, sometimes 4 fortnights, 5 fortnights, over 6,000 people, 6,000 people, the money and the bread spreading around in the country. And that's a fact. We didn't take it and have a big summit of leaders around the world, Africa and all over the world, and spend millions of dollars.
This guy is a political jackass. That's the animal. You know the jackass, the jack donkey, and the jackass? Keith Mitchell is a political jackass. We had a very successful summit of world leaders from Africa and the Caribbean. And out of that, we were able to achieve a lot. We got from the same Afro-Exim Bank co-financing for Project Polaris, our new teaching hospital, and health city, right? $668 million. Let me play for you what this businessman and Grenadian said after the summit.
So first thing is, I think this is a fantastic forum. I think it's great for Grenada, it's great for the region, it's great for Africa. I think a couple of the things that stood out for me is to learn that there was a charter flight that left Ethiopia, which is like the heartbeat of Africa, goes to Nigeria, and then comes over to Grenada. The significance of that can't be over understated. It is a phenomenal step in terms of the African diaspora reconnecting and leaving, as Foreign Minister Andal said, leaving behind those chains and actually establishing that connection ourselves. So that's absolutely huge. It's great to hear the work the bank is doing and the funding that they've made in the Caribbean already. 3.5 billion fund. Of that, they've committed over 700 million. They've committed 250 million to Project Polaris. That's our new hospital. I mean, if there's anything to celebrate, we should be celebrating that. We really should be dancing about that, because that's a vision for better healthcare for the island of Grenada and the people of Grenada. And the government has secured the land. The government has secured the partnership in Mount Sinai. The government has now secured 250 million in investment. That is something to celebrate, and we can see the incremental achievement of that promise. So those are some of the things. Some of the other things that's been discussed is visa-free travel, opening up to free trade. It's fantastic. I've been to Africa a number of times. There's still lots of hurdles to get over, even just trying to travel to Africa. But what would be good is when those barriers come down and we're able to have visa-free access to all the 54 African countries, that we have free movement of people within the 54 African countries. And when you look at the dynamics of, if you add the 54 Caribbean or the 54 African countries to the Caribbean countries, we make up the largest bloc in the world, right? We're bigger than Europe, we're bigger than Asia, so there's more countries. So really, this is, I suppose, the new frontier, that for businesses, for business people, for innovators, to have that free movement is exactly what we need to change the fortunes of people both in Africa and in the Caribbean. So this new partnership is great from the point of view of it moves Grenada into a new dynamic. So whereas we were doing business as usual, we inherited whatever we inherited, and then we just continued with that. When now this partnership demands a new dynamic. It requires new skills. It requires a new way of thinking about things, of seeing problems in a different way, rather than seeing it as something to complain about. It's something to articulate, and it's something to fix, but not fix with the traditional approaches. We now have to fix it so that it can translate into Africa and back to us again. So actually, in terms of my business, in terms of training and development, we have cultural programs that we help companies and organizations impart knowledge to their workers so that they understand how to look at our own rich Grenadian culture and heritage, but also to see the different types of cultures that are out there that we need to tap into, to embrace, to almost move our culture on a little bit as well, to be able to just work seamlessly between Grenada and Africa. We learned today that our Prime Minister's DNA is primarily from Ghana. Ghana is a thriving country, Ghana's growing fast. Ghana's youth population are growing and are doing amazing things. The tech hub in Ghana is phenomenal. So actually to have that connection and to have our Prime Minister having that direct connection, being able to move into Ghana as a Ghanaian diaspora, I mean, what is there not to be really, really happy about? And when you look at the 110,000 of us, our DNA will be from different African countries, and we're able to move seamlessly into those countries, do business, seek investment, invest ourselves. I mean, it's phenomenal. I think it's brilliant.
Yes, so this is a Grenadian speaking and celebrating the summit, the achievements, just laying it all on the table. Some of the achievements from the whole summit. We had the announcement by the president of the Afro-Exim Bank that Grenada will receive 668 million EC dollars, 250 million US in co-financing for our new teaching hospital and health city, right? A medical city at Hopeville. We hear about the Center for Excellence, Dangate and Orama Center for Excellence. Again, millions will be pumped there again. So quite a bit happened over that period. But you know, Keith Mitchell, and you just listen to this guy, this political jackass, as I said, the animal, the jackass as the animal here. You listen to him and you wonder, you see how bitter he is, right? The guy is bitter and he's jealous. You just listen to him,
Yes.
right? Just listen to the
But
guy.
I'm baby Jesus. I come in the country. And that's a fact. We didn't take it and have a big summit of leaders around the world, Africa and all over the world, and spend millions of dollars on hotel and so on to have our big ego.
You know, this guy is so stupid. It's not even funny. The hotels, they are here in Grenada. The hotels are in Grenada. So if the government spend millions on hotels to host this summit and to successfully do so, the money is going back into the economy. Right here, he thinks that the hotels are somewhere else. This guy is a political lumpeng, you know. He's a political chupidi. Why you still doing that? Why you don't move? Why you don't go? What's wrong with that?
Or pride to show I'm the big boss. I'm baby Jesus. I could bring all these important men here. While your people are suffering and they can't have a bread.
Boy, you too damn stupid politically. What's wrong with you? And you see, watch, don't play with the hands of God, you know. This guy ain't good. He bitter. Remember?
While the sting of this defeat hurts, and it really hurts, defeat hurts. While the sting of this defeat hurts, and it really hurts.
Yeah, it's hurting him. The sting of defeat. He hurting the guy. He feeling it, you know? Yeah. You think he ain't feeling it? You repeat it about how many times? A lot of times you repeat it. You was not there for the 50th.
In fact, I can admit to you that I was hoping that that would be my swan song, the 50th celebration. I would have been in government, so I will not be, I don't think I should hide the fact that I was looking forward to being the Prime Minister at that time. But that fate is what it is, and of course, all fate is always in the hands of the Almighty.
Right, you bad old piece of thing. You see? That this guy is hurting. And don't play, watch. Look at it.
You could build the best building.
Look at it.
If you don't have the equipment,
Yeah.
the medication,
Look at that.
the trained staff, and the way you treat them, Sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
Yes, sisters and brothers are blacking out.
Education, the trained staff, and the way you treat them. Sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
I hear the clapping. Yeah. Hear them. Hear them. They start to clap. Yeah. Go.
You could build the best
Yeah,
building.
yo. The bad brick.
If you don't have the
bad
equipment,
slum.
the medication, the trained staff, and the way you treat them. Sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
Watch your Lambo up. They start to clap, you know. Look at the man calling them. Look at me, what's this? Wicked old man.
The way you treat them.
Jealous old
Sisters
man.
and brothers, I'm blacking out.
Yeah. Start to gasp. Watch that. Wicked so. And I believe. Yeah, that's yo, wicked
And the way you
old
treat them. Sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
wicked. Yeah. And the supporters are clapping, you know. They're clapping. Yeah. Too jealous. This guy has never, in my belief, mean well for this country. The guy don't good. He ain't good politically. Why you don't move there? You don't find your time expire. Go now and leave the place. Let the place, you know. You see, this individual is a political jackass. You know the animal? Keith Mitchell is a political jackass. And he has to know that a good dancer, time must come to an end on the stage. And you must know when to exit. Just move now. Go. We had a successful Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Summit here. World leaders came here. Regional leaders, business people came here. And out of it, we got a lot in return. But you want to condemn the fact that government had a successful summit of African leaders, Caribbean leaders, and business people and investors and so on, and about money spent on hotels. The hotels are here in Grenada. They're Grenadians here in Grenada. So if they spend the money here, it's going back in the hands of Grenadians. And what's wrong with that? You know, you listen to this political donkey and you wonder, you know. Yeah, so the guy is hurting. The guy is hurting. But I want you to understand the guy is also jealous. You
Yes.
listen to him. The guy is jealous.
But and then tolerate them. Sometimes 4 fortnights, 5 fortnights.
In 2025, Keith Claudius Mitchell talking about the bushing program and fortnights. In 2025, you know. That is what the man beating each other about, King Kong beating each other about, you know. This is a political lunatic, in my belief. Because road work continues, the bushing program continues. It hasn't changed. But here it is. When the NNP was in power, I know, nobody ain't telling me, they would give their supporters the contract and 1 or 2 other people get a fortnight. And you don't have to go in any office to put your name, you know. They're calling you. Those NNP kingpins will call certain people and tell them, well, you get a contract, your name down for a contract. Put that person, get that person. That's how they used to do it. But I told you some years ago that the social safety net programs, many of them, they were designed to feed those NNP supporters. The debushing program, the money training program, the poor relief assistance program, the housing program, all the different programs, those social safety net programs, the back to school voucher programs, and all these different programs, were to keep the the NNP supporters who are poor and still poor and vulnerable, some of them getting out of it because NDC trying to help them, right? There to keep them going. And every year, you calculate the amount of money spent on those NNP supporters during the NNP time in office. Almost $100 million were going directly to the NNP supporters through the social safety net programs. So now some of them have to work for it, work to survive. Then they feel in it. And then you have this old political jackass on the stage talking nonsense. Keith Mitchell, you expired. You're a political derelict. You're a spoiled spum. You're an old spum. Spoiled, useless. Go, get out of here. You useless piece of thing. You're not relevant anymore.
Over 6,000 people. 6,000 people. The money and the bread spreading around in the country. And that's a fact.
But the same program continues. NDC has more fortnights. In fact, right now, to get people to work on the road, it's very hard. You speak to contractors in the debushing program, they will tell you that because people are at work. You cannot find a contractor, a carpenter, a mason, a plumber, electrician, a laborer. Easy now. It's hard because a lot of work is happening, taking place in the country. A lot of construction, a lot of industries, a lot of business places looking for people, hiring more and more people because jobs are being created, opportunities are being created. But this political lunatic, in my belief, is out there talking nonsense.
We didn't take it and have a big summit of leaders around the
Hey,
world,
jealous.
Africa and all over the world, and spend millions of dollars on hotel and so on to have our big ego or pride to show I'm the big boss. I'm baby Jesus. I could bring all these important men here. While your people are suffering and they can't have a bread, sisters and brothers.
Something wrong with that guy, you know. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, right? But this guy is so jealous. And he's full of hate. He's full of hate.
You could build the best building. If you don't have the equipment, the medication, the trained staff, and the way you treat them, sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
Too nasty, too wicked. Yeah, too wicked. A wicked old man. Huh? Yeah. Jealous.
You could build the best building. If you don't have the equipment, the medication, the trained staff, and the way you treat them, sisters and brothers, I'm blacking out.
And what is amazing about this? Those NNP supporters who cannot read, write, and reason. Clapping, you know. Huh? Clapping away, the man blacking out. That wicked, nasty old piece of thing. Blacking out. And they clapping, you know. Huh? Yeah, they clapping. Political wickedness. You know, Lord. Yeah, too jealous. Jealousy. That is the issue is jealousy, you know. Jealousy. He never thought that he would be defeated. He never thought that this newcomer, this young guy, this young, intelligent Grenadian would just come and just give him a political pap, a political pap. Out. Just kick him out. You understand? He never thought that. And when he sees these forums and so on successful and world leaders embracing the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. You just feel it. You just hunt him. Hunt him. Yeah, the guy jealous. Can't stand it. But in 2025, this old cock talking about the debushing program and Imani training program in 2025, look at the amount of scholarships being given out to young people to pursue their dreams. Look at the amount of training programs that the NDC rolled out where folks are getting more money as a stipend and more opportunities are being created for them. But this old cock in 2025 talking about Imani training program and the debushing program. Why don't move there? Keith Mitchell move there. Move there, boy. Hey, what's wrong with that? You useless piece of thing. You expired derelict. You're like them old vehicles on the side of the road pack up. Them old BMC. Keith Mitchell is like a BMC. Them old truck. They don't even have parts for it anymore. You useless piece of thing. I call that a waste pump. And as I said before, if God Almighty visits me and says, well, Kem Jones, I have one wish to fulfill for you, I will say to him, take me back to 1946. Take me back to 1946 so I can give that individual some condoms to prevent that bad sperm from coming on the face of the earth and spoiling Grenada. Because if that individual had used some of those condoms, that bad curse would have never be born or come on the face of the earth. Never. I'm telling you, it's a curse. This individual is a blight to this country. And that wish would have been a good wish. Grenada would have been a better place. I'm telling you. He nasty. He bad-minded. He ain't good. But at the end of the day, Grenadians saw through him and kick him out. He and all of them. And they ain't coming back. Don't worry them. They ain't coming back in power. When and where? You joking. Oh, what Keith Mitchell though? I gave you advice. Go in Spain. You have some beach that you could go and spend your whole money. Go in Spain. And you don't need to wear anything. Go and shake your ding dong. Go in Spain. Go with 2 people or 3 people. Go on and enjoy yourself. You bad brick. You just listen to this guy and you realize he's a no good. That is why Grenada was kept back for so long. Grenada was stuck for so long. I'm telling you, the guy, he lacks vision. In 2025, you're talking about the Bushin program and Imani training program. The world has gone into AI technology, artificial intelligence, where so many things are happening, so many new inventions, where young people are getting training opportunities, exploring new things. It's just, come on. The debushing program continues. The Imani training program that continues. But we have moved from that. We have gone up a notch. We want good for our people and betterment for the young people of this country. Look at the first generation scholarship, where the government is trying to identify one person in a household, households without university graduates, to give them the opportunity to have a university degree. Opportunities are being created for our people. Free tuition at university, at TAMCC or Lone College. Free tuition at NULO, a technical and vocational institute. That is what we want. Development for our people. Opportunities that are that are long-lasting and life-changing. Come on. You see, Keith Mitchell is a jealous piece of thing. jealous. Jealous. He jealous Deacon Mitchell. He jealous the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. He jealous him. And he has to deal with that. Because the most honorable Deacon Mitchell will be around for a damn long time. A long time. And you have to live with it and deal with it. It's just sad. Sad. When you listen to this guy. And the jealousy that comes from his heart and voice. You wonder. You wonder. If world leaders come here. Look, this African summit, right? Trade and Investment Forum had BBC featuring it. Reporters from Africa, right? From Europe. It was a big thing. Big. You had investors from so many countries who are interested in investing in this place. Come on. Come on. You're not proud of that. You're not happy about that. But you're going to go in on a platform in Vendome and make yourself a damn lunatic. But the NNP meetings are like clown shows, you know. If you want a good laugh, you tune in. No depth, no substance. But Grenadians, the younger set of people, they are seen through the NNP with their nonsense. We want development. We want genuine development to take place. And the NDC is doing just that. Boy, I tell you, you listen to Keith Mitchell and you could see that this guy ain't good. He ain't good. That old cock, that Morocco, that expired corned beef. Why don't move there? Why don't just go? Move! But you can't go in the United States with a certain person again. Can't go there with that person again. All right? Yeah, you old bad brick. Just sad. And at the meeting was poorly attended. Poorly attended. Yes, we had CNN reporters there also. BBC reporters at the summit, CNN reporters and other reporters at the summit. It's a big summit. Right? But folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful day. I will be back tonight in the hub and I'll take a look at Nimrod Olivier. The guy is almost like Keith Mitchell. Right? And look at that. The nonsense that he spit or vomited politically on that stage. So I'll look at that tonight. Take good care, folks, and bye for now.